So today, once again, I'm starting with the same topic, atmosphere. Under atmosphere, there are a few more things we need to discuss. That is, number one is ozone depletion, then global warming, greenhouse gases, etc. Okay. Now, first of all, the first topic which we have to start is ozone depletion. And before I start with this, once again, if you like this video and you find this helpful anyhow in your preparations, please share this with your friends. Okay? And don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. So now let's start with the topic ozone depletion. Now, first of all, children, what is the meaning of ozone? Ozone layer, ozonosphere. Ozone, you must have heard about ozone. Ozone is actually nothing but O3, right? Oxygen has got the symbol O2, and same way the ozone is O3, right? Now, actually, in our atmosphere, ozone gas is also present in certain amount. And where is this found now? This is in natural way where the ozone is found, that is stratosphere. In stratosphere, from the mean sea level at a height of almost 20 to 50 kilometers, right? Within that range, you'll find the ozone gas is found, right? Ozone layer is found. And this ozone layer, because of the presence of ozone, this is also many times called as ozonosphere. Okay, this is a part of which layer of the atmosphere? It is a part of stratosphere. Okay, now in this ozonosphere, you'll find ozone gas is spreading over in the this entire belt, or you can say, and it is present naturally, right? Again, I'm telling you, it is present naturally. So the ozone which is present in the atmosphere, it can be of two types. It is called as bad ozone and one is called as good ozone, right? Now, what is good ozone? This is actually what we are talking of at present. In the stratosphere, the ozone layer which is present, that is called as good ozone. Okay, and it is totally because of the function which is fulfilled by this particular ozone, right? It is called as good ozone. Because children, one thing is there, because of just presence of this layer or the gas which is there in the stratosphere, it actually doesn't allow the ultraviolet radiation which comes along with the sun rays to reach on the earth's surface. In solar radiation, the ultraviolet radiation also form an important part. And these ultraviolet radiations are a major part of it is very harmful for all the living beings. Now, what is the role of this ozone layer? It protects us from that harmful part of it. So this is actually the main role of the ozonosphere. And that's why it is called as the ozone, good ozone, right? Moreover, it is actually helping the temperature of Earth also to remain moderate. If the ozone layer is not there in the atmosphere, it will cause the temperature of the Earth also to rise very high, because the ultraviolet radiations increase the temperature of the Earth's surface, right? So because of the presence of ozonosphere, the temperature of Earth's surface is kept moderate, right? It is maintained to a level only so that the living beings can survive. So this is one role of the ozonosphere, and one more is that it doesn't allow the ultraviolet radiation. So number of diseases which would have been there if the ultraviolet radiations would reach on the Earth's surface. Okay, a number of skin diseases, cancer, and many such diseases would happen. Okay, along with that, several other side effects would be there, right? So we are actually protected in this way by the ozonosphere, through the, you can say, from ultraviolet radiations by its function, that is it filters the ultraviolet radiations to reach on the earth surface. Okay, so this is one part. Okay, now what is bad ozone? Now bad ozone is the ozone which is actually formed in troposphere, right? Now children, the next thing is the ozone depletion. Ozone depletion is actually the depletion, the destruction of the ozone layer. Anyhow, the natural ozone which is present in the atmosphere, when it is harmed or when it is destroyed due to any reason it may be, right, that is called as depletion of ozone. And it has been actually found in various studies that over Antarctica several ozone holes have been found. First of all, it was detected there. Now, what is a ozone hole? You should understand this. An ozone hole is that where you'll find the ozone layer, with the in stratosphere. Just now we discussed that in stratosphere between 20 to 50 kilometers from the Earth's surface, there is found layer of ozone, right? Ozone gas, and it is found naturally. This ozone layer is very, very useful for us, very important for the survival of life. When this layer gets actually depleted, or you can say when this layer starts getting thin, right, at several places it has been noticed that it is getting thinner, and wherever it gets very thin, that is called as an ozone hole. Now, what is ozone? Why it is so important to discuss about it? Because through these ozone holes, the ultraviolet radiations are able to reach on the Earth's surface, and thus it is causing several diseases to develop, right? Moreover, it is causing the rise in temperature also of the entire Earth's surface. So this is one thing. Now, what can be the reason behind the ozone depletion or the destruction of ozone layer? One big reason is various gases, the greenhouse gases which are being released. Now, several pollutants which are being released in the atmosphere. One more reason is the volcanic activities, in which especially the SO2 is released, right? By the solar, you can say solar storms which are created over sun every now and then. So these are natural sources of its depletion, right? If any natural source is there, if any natural reason is there behind it, it can easily be overcome by nature itself. But children, the main thing which we should actually consider here is the artificially how it is being caused. That means by human activities, how the ozone layer is being depleted. Every day its effect is increasing. So we must think over it, and we should start taking several steps to reduce the various such causes behind the ozone depletion, right? Several such gases which are being released, greenhouse gases and all, CFC, which is one of the big reason. CFC is released by various, suppose by in refrigeration and by the air conditioners and all, it is released, right? So several substitutes should be found so that it can be minimized, right? So in this way, we can find some solution so that the depletion of ozone can be reduced. Now, this is one part, children. Now, one term I have used just now, that is greenhouse gas, right? What are these greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gases are a few gases, actually. These are called as greenhouse after one thing which was being used in especially the colder regions. And there actually what happened in the, it is related with that only. In the colder regions, the people, suppose they wanted to grow certain crops or certain plants and all, and it was not possible at that low temperature to grow those crops. So what they did was they made a glass house, totally packed, air packed glass house was made, and under that, within that glass house, they started developing a nursery of different plants. Now what was seen, what was the result of it? When the sun rays used to come during the daytime, sun rays, because the glass is transparent, so sun rays would easily cross that part and sun rays were able to enter the glass house. But when the in the form of terrestrial radiation at night time, the earth releases back its heat, right? So at that time the heat which was given back by the earth, it was not able to go out of the glass house, and because of that, the temperature which was there inside the glass house was comparatively higher than the surrounding environment, surrounding atmosphere. Okay, so in this way, artificially, these people made this happen, that they actually, with the help of glass house, it was made in such a way that the temperature inside the glass house was comparatively higher than the surrounding atmosphere, because within the glass house the heat was trapped inside. In this way they were able to grow different crops and plants and all, which was not at all possible to grow in such low temperature areas. This is the concept. These glass houses were called as greenhouse. Okay, these glass houses were named as greenhouse. And since that time, children, when a few gases were found, they are having similar effect on the environment, right? Such gases are also given the same name, that is greenhouse gas. Okay, those gases are called greenhouse gases. Now, which gases are coming under this category? Suppose one is CFC, right? Chlorofluorocarbon. One is carbon dioxide, right? Methane, then water vapor. Many such other gases are there. So these gases are coming under the category of greenhouse gases. Now, what is the role of these greenhouse gases? Again, similar effect is there. During daytime, what happens, children? Along with solar radiation, the heat is coming to the earth's surface, right? So the heat, when it reaches on the earth, it is not obstructed by these greenhouse gases. But at night time, when the earth, which has actually received the heat during daytime, now at night what happens? The earth gives out heat back again to the atmosphere in the form of terrestrial radiation. Now this heat which is given back by the earth, this heat is totally trapped, right? To a great extent. It's not totally it is trapped, but yes, to a great extent it is trapped by these greenhouse gases, right? And these gases don't allow the heat to go out of the atmosphere to the outer space. And this is how these greenhouse gases are able to increase the temperature of the lower atmosphere as well as the surrounding earth's surface, right? And this is totally caused by the greenhouse gases which are actually emitted by various ways of human activities. One more thing I must tell you, children. Greenhouse gases are present in natural as well as in natural way also, and artificially also it is released in the atmosphere. One more thing I must tell you, children. These greenhouse gases are present in the atmosphere in natural way also, right? Carbon dioxide is a part of it, and several other gases are also a part of the atmosphere, but these are present in limited quantity. So it's not thing which is actually we have to be more concerned for that. But these gases, when these are released by various, suppose these are emitted by various industries, various automobiles and all, right, from the various other sources, suppose the agricultural fields. So what is the result of it? These gases are increasing a lot every day in the atmosphere, right? One of the big factor for that is you can say deforestation also. Because of cutting down a forested area, the result is what? There is a constant increase in the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So these are what? These are actually greenhouse gases, and these are getting increased day by day in the atmosphere. So what is the result of it? it results into the greenhouse effect, right? Now, here you can see there is a natural greenhouse effect, the natural greenhouse effect, and the other side it is given human enhanced greenhouse effect, right? Now, what is greenhouse effect first of all? As a result of the increase of greenhouse gases, what is the effect of these greenhouse gases on the temperature which is there of the earth surface and the surrounding atmosphere. In natural way, when these gases are present in less quantity, it is having a normal, suppose you can say the heat budget is maintained, right? Solar radiation is coming to us and it is received by the in the form of incoming solar radiation by the earth's surface. Again, it is released back to the atmosphere. To some extent, it is held by these greenhouse gases. This is called as natural greenhouse effect, right? But when it is increasing in its quantity a lot by various human activities, so that is actually causing a human enhanced greenhouse effect, right? Now, what is it? It is causing the solar radiation. Again, the solar radiation is reaching to us, right? As it was earlier. But now, what is the result of it? This heat is trapped inside the atmosphere to a great extent, right? Thus increasing the temperature of the surrounding atmosphere as a whole. And this is called the increase in temperature, which is caused by this, is called as greenhouse effect, you can say, or this increase in temperature is called the global warming. Global warming. Clear? Now, how do we know that the global warming is going on? By observing different effects around us. There is a lot of climatic change, right? The level of sea is rising constantly and the glaciers are melting very fast. These are just a few impacts of it, right? So global warming is, to a great extent, it is the result of increase in the temperature of the earth's surface and the lower part of the atmosphere, right? Which is by the greenhouse effect, or you can say by the increase of the ultraviolet radiation, which is again due to the ozone depletion. So all these things, children, that is causing the temperature to rise constantly. Now this global warming especially is the increase in temperature, okay? Due to different reasons it is being caused. Now you can see what are the impacts of global warming. First thing you can see in front of you, several glaciers, there's a big reserve of fresh water with us, right? In the form of glaciers, right? So the glaciers which are going on, actually these are melting very fast now because naturally the temperature rises, so it will cause the ice to melt. So over the Antarctica or wherever, whichever part in the polar regions or at over the high mountainous area also, the glaciers are melting very fast. So one big thing you should remember, children, a big major source of fresh water is getting decreased now. Why? Because it is being added up in seawater. Understood? So this water, when fresh water is there, it is being added in the seawater. Now it is no more a fresh water now, right? It is a salty water. So that is one big thing which we must think of it, right? Next thing is that it is actually when the glaciers melt very fast, that is ultimately where it is being added up. It is being added up in the sea or the oceans. So the level of sea is rising constantly, it is getting increased. So what is the result of it? Direct impact can be seen in those areas which are having low level, right? From the mean sea level, which the places which are having less height, especially you can say in the coastal areas, many cities, many important cities at present in the entire world are present over on the coastal areas. Now in these coastal areas, whichever cities are there, these are in great danger of getting submerged underwater. Moreover, a few islands are there which are now actually these islands are having very low level. So because of rising sea level, now these are totally in danger to get drowned underwater. So this is again one thing which you should keep in mind. Then the next thing you can say, the humidity level, because of the rise in temperature, the humidity level will increase. So if the humidity level will increase, naturally it will cause the total change in the climatic conditions of different areas. Somewhere it's going to be very, you can say the rains will be too heavy. Okay, the other places will suffer from the droughts and all, right? No rains will be there. So such, you can say, the extremes will be seen in that condition, right? Because of the global warming, right? Moreover, one more thing you can easily see here, there is a balance which is maintained between the incoming solar radiation. These are a few terms which I discussed in the earlier part of it. Incoming solar radiation is the total amount of heat, right, by the solar radiation, by the rays which are coming from the sun, that is called as solar radiation. Okay, that heat is 100%. Okay, out of that, it's not totally reaching to the earth's surface. Only some part of it is able to reach over the earth's surface. Rest of it gets scattered. Okay, some part of it is absorbed by the clouds, some part of it is absorbed by the dust particles and all in the atmosphere. Some part of it again is reflected back to the space, right? So in this manner, children, it gets scattered. Only little part of it is able to reach to the earth's surface. Now this is called as, which is able to reach on the earth's surface, that is called insolation. Okay, insolation. Again, besides this insolation, suppose this insolation is received by the earth, right? This is the heat which the earth receives. And again, at night time, earth gives back the heat to the atmosphere, right? It releases heat back. That is called terrestrial radiation. Okay. So always, children, there is a balance which is maintained between incoming solar radiation, or it is also called as insolation, right? Between insolation and the terrestrial radiation. There's always maintained a balance in natural way, right? But what happens now? Because of all this disturbance, what is being caused by various human activities, the increase in greenhouse gases has been there, right? Which has caused, and many such other activities also, which has caused the global warming, right? And this has caused actually an imbalance to develop between the insolation on one side and the terrestrial radiation on the other. So which ultimately is going to affect, it is affecting actually, right? Because the effect is going on. At present, its impact can be easily seen around us, right? So ultimately, what will be the result? It's going to cause great damage to the entire biosphere as a whole, all the living beings which are present on the earth's surface, right? Next effect you can see in the form of suppose the cropping pattern, right? Because the temperatures are rising constantly. Clear? Temperature conditions are rising. So especially in certain areas, suppose let's take the example of any tropical region. If any plant or suppose any crops are grown in those areas, right? These crops will get changed, right? In the suppose temperate region, if any crops are grown, the entire cropping pattern is going to be changed because the crops need certain temperature condition. Now the temperature conditions have changed in all the parts that this can be easily observed. So the crops which are grown is specifically in those areas, now it has changed to some other type, right? So this is again something which is going to disturb the entire, you can say, the cropping pattern, right? Then next is the all the again the same thing which I have mentioned just now in the earlier part, the fresh water source, right? The ice caps or the glaciers are the one of the main source of fresh water, right? Once they are gone, naturally a big source of fresh water is gone. So we are going to face a lot of problem because of the scarcity of water, fresh water, which actually is required for the living beings to survive. Other activities can be done anyhow, but for drinking purpose the fresh water is required. So there will be very less amount of fresh water left with us, and that also is not totally safe. Now the other impact can be seen in the form of various diseases which are going to develop definitely, because the temperatures will rise and that will lead to the breeding ground for various mosquitoes, right, to develop in those areas. And thus if the mosquitoes are developed, naturally you can see around yourself number of diseases are developing because of mosquitoes, such as dengue. These are malaria. These are most commonly found diseases, especially in the tropical regions, right, equatorial tropical regions. Okay, so these are a few diseases which are going to cause a lot of problems in future, right, which has increased. We can easily feel that, right? Altogether, children, you can just see within one picture, you can see all these changes, right, which are going to be the result of global warming. Okay, over the peaks of the mountains, you can see here less snow or ice will be there, right? Changes in animal migration and life cycles will be seen, right? High temperatures and more heat waves will be seen on the earth's surface. Clear? Then change in rain and snowfall patterns, right? Or you can say the precipitation, the pattern of the rainfall and the, you can say, precipitation as a whole will be changed a lot. Storms are going to be more stronger, or it is more going to be more destructive. Then next is rising sea level. The sea level will rise more and more as a result of global warming. Then ocean water are going to be warmer. Then plants life cycles will get affected by that. Thawing permafrost. What is thawing permafrost? Permafrost is a level after which, beyond which always the snow is found. Okay, there is an imaginary line beyond which always the glaciers are seen, or the snow or the ice cover is there. So that will start melting and it will again get affected by that. So basically, children, these are the effects we are going to face as a result of global warming. Several other side effects also. We have just discussed a few, because out of all these things, many other problems are going to be developed. There will be floods in several areas, right? The several species, several species of animals and birds and different, suppose plants and all, which are able to adapt themselves according to these changing conditions. They will be able to survive. But many times the species are not able to adapt themselves, or they are not able to migrate from there, right? They are going to die. So they are going to get extinct totally. Okay, so there are going to be a number of changes, children. A lot of climatic changes will be there. Deserts will be having will receive the floods, right? And those areas, suppose very fertile areas, will get converted into deserts and all. Okay, so these changes are going to be there definitely, and some impacts can be seen easily by us around area, the atmosphere around us. The forest fires will be quite common. Okay, so these are a few things, and these are totally because of the increase in greenhouse gases in large quantity. So what is the solution for all this? We have to find the solution, children. Okay, every problem has got some solution. So let's do something positive in this regard, and we can be part of it to spread the awareness among the people to cut less trees. Okay, only cut the forest when it is very urgent, right? Moreover, when the trees are cut, make sure that we are again planting new trees there. So the total area of forested area should not be reduced. The constant emission of the various greenhouse gases should be reduced. Chlorofluorocarbons, this type of gases should be reduced to a great extent. or we can find some substitute which can be used in the refrigeration and the air conditioners and all. Okay, less use of vehicles, right? Less use of fossil fuels. So these are a few things, children, which we can do from our side. And in this way, we can get some solution to come out of it, right? In this way, we can save not only the living beings, but the entire earth as a whole, the entire biosphere as a whole, children. Fine. So this is all about this chapter, children. Now, again, before I leave, I must remind you here that if you find anything which has helped you in this video to prepare yourself for this particular topic, please share this with your friends and don't forget to subscribe and like this channel. Okay, children?